परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भावाधीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Namaskar everyone. Welcome you all to yet another wonderful Bhava Samadhi Darshan, manifesting with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Today, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will be gracing all of us in the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Somaskandhar Murthy. If you're a temple goer and if you follow the various temples and are a part of the various temple festivals, you would have seen or at least glimpsed the Somaskandhar Murthy at least once in any of these festivals or Brahmotsams which are being celebrated. Somaskandhar is one of the most beautiful and most represented form of Paramashiva, which is worshipped and celebrated across every single temple in India. As we get into the session, you will learn more about who is Somaskandhar, the Leela behind the happening of Somaskandhar Murthy, as well as the signs of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. We will also be from the direct powerful cognitions which are represented by Somaskandhar. With those powerful cognitions, we will be going through internalization exercises and to see how we can apply these powerful cognitions in our own life. But before we get into the whole program, I'd like to share with all of you very special and very exciting news, which was released a couple of days back on Facebook. These posts are posted by on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism Hinduism's official Facebook handle. The first report is by the News Minute media publication agency, which has published the truth about the Interpol notice, which was allegedly been put on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. All the details and all the references for the information is also provided in the Facebook page. But if you actually go and if you see and read the Facebook page, the Facebook post, you will see that Interpol has never issued any sort of arrest warrant or any sort of notice against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Rather, Interpol themselves acknowledge and recognize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the leader of the sovereign state of the United States of Kailasa. So this is one of the most extraordinary news. This is a very, very positive news and very, very good news for all of us Kailasian citizens and for the rest of the world as well. So please take a few minutes of your time to go ahead and spread this news on social media. This post is on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's official Facebook handle in Facebook. And so as you can see here, media reveals the truth about no Interpol notice against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Pontiff of Hinduism has been recognized by the United Nations, international bodies, and multiple countries. After baseless rumors spread about Interpol notices being issued against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, media like the News Minute have revealed the truth of no Interpol notice against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, along with clear evidence of letters directly from the Interpol on the same matter. So actually, if you scroll down on this Facebook post, you will see the references as well as the screenshots where the Supreme of News Minute projecting, and if you can see here, it's being projected right now. So these are the official letters from the Interpol themselves saying that no notice or any sort of case has been put against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So this is one of the most extraordinary and one of the good and positive newses which has happened over the past couple of days. And please share this news with all of your family members in all of your social circles. The second, which we want to share with all of you, is the United Nations has recognized the persecution on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and has published this on their official website. United Nations publishes another report on the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on Kailasa's Gurukul and Kailasa's children and women. A report of the special rapporteur on the sale of sexual exploitation of children, including child prostitution, child pornography, and other child sexual abuse materials, on reparation for child victims and survivors of sale and sexual exploitation. The weaponization of sexual violence targeting women and children, especially of minorities' traditions, is part of a more pervasive and systematic campaign targeting certain indigenous spiritual traditions, minority communities, and their leaders. One such indigenous spiritual tradition, currently targeted for extermination by the deep state elements, is the Hindu Aboriginal Indigenous Agricultural Tribes, which is the AIAT community led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Kailasa's Nithyananda Gurukul, the traditional residential education system of AIAT, is one of the core components of AIAT from a tender age. They learn the 64 Vedas, types of knowledge in a unique method of knowledge transmission. Since 2010, deep state elements have forcibly and unlawfully shut down the indigenous Nithyananda Gurukul, depriving the AIAT children of their fundamental human rights and right to traditional education. Several terrorist attacks continue on the AIT schools and the children to destroy the Gurukul indigenous education system, ironically by the state bodies responsible for reparation. So these reports have not only been published to the UN, United Nations recognize this as well. And as you can see here, the official website of United Nations for Human Rights, where these reports have been published. The various persecutions on Kailasa, on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, on Kailasa's Gurukul, and Kailasa's women and children. All of this is available freely. You can go and see for it yourself. All the references and links have been linked in the Facebook posts. If you actually go to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's official Facebook handle, these two posts are featured and will be. So you can read the post for yourself, and please share and share this message, share this great news which is happening, where the Hindu persecution due to the hard work and sacrifice of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is now being recognized internationally and is being acknowledged and is being properly in the international forums. And so now with this, we're going to enter into the grand narrative of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, having the introduction of the reviver of Kailasa. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born in the year 1978 on January 3rd in the holy southern town of Tiruvannamalai in South India. At the tender age of 3, in the year 1981, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was initiated into the Bala Sannyas, which is the child saint, by enlightened beings, masters, and his predecessors through a ritualistic ceremony. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as an incarnation by enlightened beings as Yogi Raj Yogananda Puri, Vidwan Panduranganath, and the 130th Guru Mahasannidhanam, which is the pontiff of the Tonde Mandaladinam of Kanchi. When the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was of 16 years of age, he was coronated by Mata Vibhudananda Puri, the Vedanta Guru of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, also lovingly called as Mataji Kuppamal. You can see there is a conch and a kamandalu, which is the water pot, to the left of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as well as the wooden staff to his right, all of which are given to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by Mata Vibhudananda Puri. These are the traditional items which are handed over along with the official induction as the successor into the lineage. You can see here the photograph of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism standing with Mata Vibhudananda Puri, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's Vedanta Guru, as well as the coronation photo taken when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was inducted as the successor of Arunachala Sarvagyapeetham and coronated to revive Sri Kailasa. Next, we're looking at the early days in the mission of Kailasa into the mission of the Nithyananda Sangha. Here leftmost, you can see the black and white photo where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, brick by brick, constructed the temple monastery complex for his guru, Mata Vibhudananda Puri, under the guidance of his gurus. Later, during the years when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism started the public mission, the public life, in the year 2001, on the 14th of April, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was just 23 years of age, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, established the first Kailasa temple monastery in Tiruchengodu, South India. As you can see here on this photograph, in the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's own handwriting, the annotation is there on the photograph, marking and recording this historic day. Here we can see in the year 2002, 1 year later, on the 4th of November, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the headquarters, Adi Kailasa Sarvanyapeetham, in South India. By the year 2004, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was 26 years of age, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was conducting mass living enlightenment conventions all across the globe in various countries, taking people cleansing processes of the seven energy bodies. By the year 2005, at the age of 27, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was welcomed with the proclamation message by the Mayor of St. Louis, Francis G. Slade. Here we can see international worldwide conventions of living enlightenment conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In the years 2015 and 2016, during the auspicious Kumbh Mela festival, one of the largest celebrated festivals in the world, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiated thousands into the mass living enlightenment, both in Nasik Kumbh Mela in the year 2015 and the Ujjain Kumbh Mela in the year 2016. As you can see here, we have photos of thousands and thousands of people visiting the Kailasa camp in Ujjain and in Nasik, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism giving the mass initiations living into living enlightenment to all those who had come. We are now going to be looking at the various coronations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The first one being when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was just 10 years of age. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvanyapeetham, which is the Tondai Mandala Adhinam. In the year 2004, on December 31st, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamshi Surangi Samrajya. In the following years, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the present 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargapuram. In the year 2012, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shyamlapita Sarvanyapeetham. In the year 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the present Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, which is the largest apex monastic order. In the year 2014, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is the head of all spiritual leaders of the Atal Akhada, which is the ancient apex body of Hinduism. In the year 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, elected by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders, pontiffs. The United States of Kailasa is a macrocosmic, ancient, Hindu enlightened civilizational nation whose vision is living enlightenment for all of humanity. Kailasa's mission is to revive and share with today's world the practical applications of the greater sciences of authentic Hinduism, including Hindu cosmic physics, Hindu alchemy, Hindu cosmology, Hindu biology, Hindu mathematics, the power manifestation science, and other sciences as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. These sciences were once practiced freely in over 56 nations across the continent, but are now facing extinction due to the persecution which has spanned over a millennium. Here we can see the various Sri Kailasa initiatives, Sri Kailasa United Nations initiatives. Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations initiatives support a variety of humanitarian services which collectively allows for the creation of an enlightened, peaceful, sustainable, equitable, resilient, and thriving world. Out of these 108 initiatives started by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations, The one which we are going to be looking out of the many is the No Hungry Home project offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for nutritious food and a hunger-free world. More than 1 billion meals have been served over the past 27 years. The Hindu ASMT community has organized more than 3 million annadans serving a total of 1 billion meals. Annadans are the free organic meals as per the tradition, which are served during religious gatherings to everyone without discrimination. Up to 10,000 meals are served on a daily basis, free of cost, and this number rises to up to 100,000 on festival days. As you can see here in the photos, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself is actively involved in serving and in the process of the Annadan service. You can see here in many places the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with his own hand is doing the Annadan service. Here we can see Kailasa's protective and preventive COVID care centers offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for affordable and holistic health care. During the pandemic, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism converted his monastery campuses into a multi-layer quarantine facility free for all people, regardless of any differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, socioeconomic status, or any other sort of discrimination. Not only that, but food, shelter, internet, as well as other basic facilities, including free medical care, were provided to all the residents for an indefinite amount of time. More than 30 million citizens followed Kailasa's 28-day spiritual regimen in the year 2020. Here we can see the offerings made by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for education reform and development in the form of the Nithyananda Hindu University and the Nithyananda Gurukul. The Nithyananda Hindu University was established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and is the world's largest Hindu university. The Nithyananda Gurukul was inaugurated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the 2nd of October 2006. The Guru Disciple Education System, which is an authentic knowledge transmission system based on enlightenment. Nithyananda Hindu University has more than 20 million enrollments, 7,000 free courses, and has extended campuses in more than 150 countries. Here we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for the protection of Hindu scriptures in the form of the Nithyananda Jnanalaya, which is the library, and the Hinduismpedia. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Hindu Jnanalaya to collect and to preserve the 1 million Hindu scriptures while ensuring that knowledge is made accessible and shared free of cost to all people, collecting and preserving 1 million source books on Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has authored more than 10,000 books in 3 different languages, which have been translated into 50 other different languages. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has published more than 10,000 articles and has given more than 10,000 hours of free discourses with a combined view of more than 1 billion. The Hinduismpedia is a project offered by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has collected more than 15 terabyte of digital material and rare manuscripts from all the 19 serving pitas, ancient mutts, and ashrams. This collection is inclusive of over 1 million pages on Hinduism, 22,000 digital books, 1,000 e-textbooks, and more than 100,000 articles on various topics in Hinduism. Here we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for global peace and religious harmony, offering the confluences for world peace. In the year 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a month-long peace walk covering 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 villages to bring together in harmony from all walks of life to promote feeling connection and oneness among people. During the walk, health camps were conducted in villages along its path. As you can see here, thousands and thousands have gathered, waving the Kailasa flag and doing the peace walk. Next, we have Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for feminine empowerment and gender equality, offered by the women empowerment programs, the various women empowerment programs. The first one which you're looking at right now is Kailasa's Yogini Sarvingyapeetham, which is the establishment of yoga and meditation universities to empower the quality of life an emphasis on life solutions through Vedas and Agamas, empowering the indigenous rural women, fighting against wrongful gender stereotypes, and lack of inclusive and quality learning environments. Some of these initiatives include Kailasa's Nithyananda microfinancing service, Kailasa's Women Foundation and Women Empowerment Self-Help Center in 108 places around the world since its establishment in the year 2009. Kailasa's Ankita program, which is providing foundational literacy about working of basic community service and infrastructural environments. Kailasa's Ashraya program, providing vocational training programs to rural and indigenous women to provide equal opportunities and access to financial environments to them. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the Vedic feminism in Kailasa, where more than 80% of leadership positions are occupied by women. Here we can see the various offerings of Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations Yoga as the Nithyananda Yoga. The Nithyananda Kriyas are 108 scientifically validated Kriyas revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, specifically targeting the 108 major diseases and disorders such as diabetes, arthritis, blood pressure, rheumatism, and more. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also revived the ancient forms of yoga, such as the pole yoga, which is the Shivastambha yoga, and the rope yoga, the Kundalini Raja yoga, in which yogic asanas, postures, and weight balancing techniques are performed to create the yogic physiology, aligning it to cosmic geometry that manifests superconscious powers. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been awarded 2 Guinness World Records for the largest rope yoga and largest pole yoga classes, bringing worldwide attention to these extraordinary forms of yoga. These world records were established on the 30th of September and 3rd of October, respectively. Despite being heavily persecuted continuously for more than a decade, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in his unwavering intention, commitment, and action in building the only Hindu nation, has established the sovereign state of the United States of Kailasa to protect, revive, and preserve Hinduism, the most ancient, most peaceful, still living, and long lasting demonstrable system that shows the possibility of peaceful coexistence amongst people. Next, we're going to be looking here at one of the most historic and definite moments of the Kailasa nation, where Kailasa, the first nation of Hindus led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, spoke on behalf of the 2 billion global Hindu diaspora at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. A significant milestone in the history of Hindus and the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa happened on the 2nd of December 2021. His Excellency Shri Nitya Moksha Priyananda, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Kailasa, represented the persecution of Hindus at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. The theme of the forum was conflict prevention and the protection of human rights of minorities. This was the first time the plight of persecuted Hindu minorities was represented in the United Nations. The ongoing and systematic generational attacks on Hindu indigenous traditions were highlighted in these meetings. Here, we're looking at the various attempts by the state and non-state actors on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's life and on Kailasa. More than 70 assassination attempts and attacks, physical attacks, have happened on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in India and abroad. 40 attacks on community members, destruction of monasteries and temples, over 60 incidences of attacks, molestation, and rape of women and women monks. Intense lawfare through the 100 false legal cases, all but one are dismissed. Intersectional persecution using entire government mechanism, politically owned media and judiciary controlled by politicians, inciting mob violence through social media. These are just but few of the massive methods, methodologies, and ways the illegal persecution and the harassment and the deed happened on Kailasa and on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for over a decade. But despite all this, Hinduism, in his unwavering intention, sacrifice, and hard work for the Hindu nation has built the United States of Kailasa for all of us to peacefully practice and live and we have the establishment of the Hindu nation. In this next segment, we're going to be looking at one of the most important contributions given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for all of humanity, and that is the power manifestation science. We're going to be looking at the spiritual reference, the scriptural reference for the power manifestation science, how the power manifestation science works, as well as a live demonstration of these various powers. So please stay tuned. We'll be back with you after a short break to see the live demonstration of the power manifestation science.
A more intelligently connected world leads to a brighter future. An enlightened humanity leads to a better world. During the Paramashivam program, we help people to discover their superhuman possibilities and help them to find and achieve the true purpose of their birth by giving them the techniques, practices, and methodologies from the Vedagamas, the original source scriptures of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the ancient original Vedas and Agamas in all its glory, in a user-friendly way for the modern mind. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is transforming human beings into divine beings, reviving, initiating, and replicating the 463 powers from the Agamas revealed by Paramashivam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not just giving solutions for every problem man faces, but is making them irrelevant to their lives by transforming human beings into divine beings.
Listen. Any argument presented by your mind, body, your present reality to establish you are not Paramashiva. You are not omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Anything presented to prove you are not Paramashiva is illegitimate. Decide this. This is super determinism. Understand? Anything you declare as illegitimate will lose power over you, will die in few days, few minutes, maybe in few weeks, whatever few days it takes. It will not have power over you. Understand? This is the method for sudden enlightenment. This is the method for sudden enlightenment. It happens by the Shaktipada. Here Paramashiva is sitting to tell you all, you are Paramashiva, you are me, with Shaktipada and Shaktinipada.
The Dvitiya Vijnasa Krama is an extensive and thorough yoga sequence to prepare your body to receive the experience being given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Through the yoga, which is aligned as per the source scriptures, Paramashiva and the Agamas, you break all the impossibility in your body and in turn break the very cognition of impossibility. The program leads you to go beyond your human frame and limiting human ideas, which prevents you from living your highest possibility.
I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be, with enlightenment.
I tell you, I am not here to prove I am God, I am here to prove you are God.
Don't wait to become divine. Register now at paramashivoham.org.
Yes, so now we'll be entering into the beautiful session of the power manifestation, and now we're going to be understanding the various truths and aspects of power manifestation. So what is power manifestation? How is it helpful to our life? And what is the science actually of power manifestation. So now we are going to be going through a beautiful and informative sequence of understandings where we learn the science of power manifestation. So, in the Vedagamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva elaborates in detail that every human being is hardwired to be able to manifest the 463 Shaktis of Paramashiva. Manifesting Shaktis are described in a detailed systematic method and science for human beings to explore the various sciences and the various Shaktis of Paramashiva. The manifestation happens from the fundamental cognition that you are divinity and not the cognition that you need to reach divinity. So now we're going to be seeing the difference between the Shaktis and the Siddhis. Shaktis express from the space of enlightenment, whereas the Siddhis manifest from the space where you are reaching enlightenment through various penance and hardships. That time the Siddhis manifest. Shaktis are the source of enlightenment, whereas Siddhis manifest only in the path of enlightenment. The Shaktis, on the other hand, are a blessing for every human being. Means every human being after the initiation of a living incarnation or an enlightened master can manifest the Shaktis. Siddhis happen only after lots of hard penance. The Shaktis also are permanent, whereas the Siddhis are not permanent and they divert us from the path of enlightenment. So now we are going to be seeing the Yes, so now we are going to be seeing the various pramanas or the scriptural, the references and the way the powers are authenticated. So we have four different methods and layers through which the powers are filtered. So first is the Shastra Pramana, which is the source scriptures, the revelations of Paramashiva's direct teachings, like in the Vedas and the Agamas. Then we have the Apta Pramana, which is the experiences of the various enlightened masters, rishis, incarnations, and the other manifestations of Paramashiva. The various way all of these great beings who have come before us have taught the world and shown to the world that these powers are possible by humanity. Then we have the Atma Pramana, where the supreme point of Hinduism has experienced these powers and validated them with the Shastra Pramana and the Atma Pramana and given it to us as his Atma Pramana. Then we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study on these powers. So now we're going to see the source of these Shaktis, and it is Paramashiva. Paramashiva is the source of these Shaktis, and he is the primordial divinity in Hinduism, the ultimate cause, which is self-effulgent, all pervading, and beyond time. He manifests the five actions of creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion, and liberation. And through this, he creates and sustains and manifests this whole existence that we know. The direct words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, he says that every ultimate truth, when a powerful cognition is mapped into the consciousness, our individual consciousness, it manifests through every human as Shaktis. Now we're going to be seeing the detailed pramana for each of the pramanas that we have. So first we're seeing the Shastra pramana, which is the source scriptures, the scriptural references for the power of the third eye. So Paramashiva in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra and Agama reveals the signs of various Shaktis to Paramashiva Shakti, and now we'll be seeing the 34th verse of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, where Paramashiva has given us the detailed description of how the powers manifest from the third eye. He says, Kapala mano nyasa tishtan milita lochanaha kramena manaso dhadyat lakshayet lakshyamuttamam. Paramashiva says, by fixing the mind within the crown center, sitting stably without any movement, having the eyes in succession to the third eye, one whose mind is stable is able to see beyond the sight and has the ultimate darshan of the lakshyam, which is the ultimate goal, and has the vision of any place or any object beyond his sight, and he attains the space of oneness with the source Paramashiva. Now we'll be seeing the Apta Pramana, the experiences of various enlightened masters who have come before us. So here we have the beautiful scripture reference from the Mahabharata, where Bhagavan Shri Krishna gives Arjuna the initiation into the third eye. Arjuna asks Bhagavan Shri Krishna that he wants to see the cosmic form of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the 8th chapter of the 11th verse initiates Arjuna into the third eye by saying, you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I grant you the divine vision of the third eye. Behold my cosmic form. And then Arjuna gives a detailed description of each of the various aspects of that beautiful Vishwarupa Darshana in the 11th chapter. Next, we'll be seeing the Atma Pramana, how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has experienced these things, these powers in his own life. So in his own words, he says, the first experience that I had, I was able to see about the whole 360 degrees and the 10 directions. Not only I was able to see, I was able to feel and experience all that around me as me. So we can see here how directly the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's Atma Pramana, his own experience, is matching with the Shastra Pramana. Next, we are seeing the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific study on the powers. So they had conducted an experiment directly on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and they had conducted the positron emission tomography test on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's brain, and at that time they found high amount of radiation and energy being radiated from the frontal lobe where the third eye is, and the same readings from which they had seen in the scans of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been replicated in the Balasans and the various yogis who have also gone through these scans. Now we'll be seeing one of the powers that manifests from the space of the third eye, which is the power of consciousness over matter. The scriptural reference for this is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95. Paramashiva says, Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shane drishtim nivartayet tajnanam chitta sahitam devi shunyalayo bhavet. The translation is, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, Vastu, one should slowly withdraw the gaze and the sight from that object, as well as slowly eliminate the knowledge, thoughts, and impressions from that object. Then, O Devi, one abides in Shunya, the state where there is nothing other than this exists, the space of all inclusiveness or infinity. So here we can see how Paramashiva has given us a detailed explanation of each of the steps of how to manifest this power. Now we are going to be having a live demonstration of this power where I will be manifesting the power of consciousness over with my Atmalinga. So now we'll be moving to the close-up camera where you'll be able to see the demonstration, and we'll be showing you how authentically this power is being manifested.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Yes, so now we are all able to see the Atmalinga, and you can see my hand also. So now I'm just showing you my hand also. You can see that there is no kind of strings or any glue, all those kind of things which are there on my hand. And we can see the Atmalinga also, and as we know, the Atmalinga is made of a crystalline material, so there is no kind of magnetic thing that can be used to make the Atmalinga to move. And also I have a tissue paper here, so I'll be just circling the Atmalinga with this tissue paper to show that even when the Atmalinga is placed on my palm, there's no kind of strings which are being used to move the Atmalinga or anything. So by doing that, we are making the power as authentic as possible. So I'm placing the Atmalinga on my hand, and here I have the tissue paper, and I'm just circling the Atmalinga to show you that even when the Atmalinga, when I'm moving the tissue paper around the Atmalinga, there is no kind of movement which is happening in the Atmalinga, showing that there is no external thing that is being used to create the movement in the Atmalinga. So now I'll be connecting with Paramashiva, and as we saw in the scriptural reference, the detailed instructions which have been given directly by Paramashiva on how the Atmalinga, how the consciousness or matter happens. So now I'll be manifesting that. I will be doing the same, and I'll be chanting the Mahavakya and connecting with Paramashiva, and then when that happens, we will all be seeing that the Atmalinga. So I request all the viewers also to take this time now to create the same reality in your life also. So either you can manifest this power, or you can create a reality. You can share with us a reality that you want to manifest in your life, and then we will be, when we manifest the power, we will be seeing directly Paramashiva manifest that reality in your life. So now I'll be chanting the Mahavakya, and we will all be seeing the beautiful manifestation of the Atmalinga. So you can also chant along with me. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 So as the Atmalinga is moving also, I want to show that there is no kind of movement or no kind of external thing that is being used to create the movement in the Atmalinga. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Yes, so now we have seen the beautiful manifestation of the Atmalinga, and now this is the best opportunity for all of us to take, best time we can take to create the reality of Mahaparamashivoham, where we'll be learning to manifest this kind of Shaktis. And the goal of this consciousness or matter is not to just move the matter, but it is to create the realities that we want. It is to have a personal, intimate relationship with Paramashiva and create a better future for you and your family. Because in the Mahaparamashivam, you'll be learning lots and lots of powerful cognitions which you can use in various situations of your life to create a better future for you. So now we are projecting the QR code on the screen. You can scan that with your phone and it will take you directly to the registration page of the Mahaparamashivoham. And now we are going to be moving into the next session where we are going to be understanding about a really important component that takes away the whole effort, that takes away the whole beauty of manifesting Paramashiva in our life, which is the pattern of decision fatigue. And when we have this decision fatigue, it always, when we have a breakthrough in our life, we think, oh, I've taken so much, I've done so much, and you just get overwhelmed and you don't enjoy that you have allowed Paramashiva to life. So when we understand about how we can go beyond this decision fatigue and break this pattern of decision fatigue, we will be able to allow Paramashiva to flow through us. So we'll be listening to a series of satsangs by the Supreme Point of Hinduism, where he'll be teaching us and explaining about how this decision fatigue can be overcome. So now let's sit with our head, neck and spine in a straight line. And as most importantly, make sure that you take notes of this and share it with your friends and families in the social media, and make sure that you write it and keep it as your book of hearts. So now let's sit with our head, neck and spine in a straight line. Let's bring our awareness to the third eye, and let's bring listening to our space. And now let us enter into the video.
Fatigue decision or decision fatigue means fatigue which happens to you by making decisions. Actually, decision fatigue is fatigue decision. Listen. Decision fatigue is nothing but fatigue decision. I'll explain. When you decide to superimpose elephant on a wooden sculpture, elephant, the fear or greed or other emotions, opinions associated with elephant gets aggravated in you. When you go through that ups and downs, incompletions, you become tired. Listen carefully. I was discussing with some of the Adinavasis preparing for Sadashivoham. Actually, whole day nothing is being done other than making. But everyone is tired, fatigued, thinking they are doing two big things. Nothing. Nobody is building here. Even if buildings are happening, big buildings are happening, what you are doing is only phone call. Nothing else. If you just do the postmortem and see exactly what you are doing, it's only phone call and talking. And at the most signing, that's it. But you are so arrogant, you don't want to believe you are not doing anything. Because you are always, you thrive on pampering yourself with arrogance. Pampering yourself with arrogance is the way you thrive. So naturally, to cheat others, you start using the word, I am doing this, I am doing that. And finally, you yourself start believing and get cheated by it. You getting cheated by yourself is what I call fatigue decision or decisions of fatigue. The decision making leading to fatigue, or out of fatigueness you decide to be arrogant. I tell you, fatigueness, when you are tired, you decide to believe you are doing too big things because you need to justify to yourself you are big, you are doing something great. I can't understand people becoming tired by traveling. They say, oh, I came from Chennai to Bangalore, I am tired, I have to go and lie down. Hey, what have you done other than sitting in the AC car? It is just most cunning, arrogant way of cheating others. Unfortunately, while you utter these words to cheat others continuously, after 4 or 5 times you start believing that words and get cheated. Get cheated terribly, understand? If you cheat your boss, you are doing great, you may gain some money. If you cheat yourself, you lost your very life. Anybody who cheats himself or herself loses life. You are in utter confusion, don't know what to do, don't have direction, don't have any real movement done. Tired, busy. End of the day, if you see, just blown arrogance. I am this, I am that, I am doing this, I am doing that. Actually, if you see what you are doing, nothing more than calling or talking. I told to the Adinavasi whom I was talking, now you are standing here, holding your hands. For 100 decisions your brain has to take. To put the weight on the right leg, left leg, hold the hands together, all that. To build this whole campus, less number of decisions only your brain need to take. Actually, even for your breathing, how many decisions your brain need to take? Less than that number of decisions only you need to take every day. Even you are most productive, much better than me. Even if you are in that space, you need to take only less decisions which you need to take for your breathing. For your breathing, if you are taking 200 decisions, and if you take just 100 decisions for the work, the whole thing will be successful. It's arrogance. The false identification, because of your decision, whoever is working, you attribute all that glory to you. You attribute all that glory to you, which is not true. Which is not true. Arrogance. Because decision makers are paid more money than the people who are working, you develop certain arrogance. Decision fatigue is the direct result of the mental setup you carry, whether you are under the matrix or outside the matrix. Please be informed, anybody who has a decision fatigue is inside, under the matrix. You are under the matrix. Anybody who understands, actually if you see more subtler way, For breathing, how many decisions you take? Less number of decisions only you need to take, even to be a ultimate successful billionaire or to do any work done. If you understand that, suddenly work will bring a lot of strength, joy, activism, being alive. If the micromanagement does not bring frustration and fatigue in you, you are out of matrix. Even your so-called macromanagement brings fatigue, decision fatigue in you, you are within the matrix. Arrogant, violent, you are dangerous to live with. Fatigue decision, people's prana is dangerous to breathe. Kandu muttu kettu muttu, don't even see them. It will be disaster for you. Don't even talk to them. They will put poison into. Understand. Most of your problems, stupid thing called decision fatigue and arrogance developed due to decision fatigue destroys your life, and matrix always pampers it. If you come down to the existential ground reality and see your nothing but a few decisions I took, which is as easy as breathing, few words as easy as flirting, few signatures I made, which is as easy as autographing. That's all. Nothing else is done. If you understand that, you will be a light being. You will be young forever. You will never become old. You may become bold, but not bald. If any thought current makes you believe you are working, you are tired, you need to be pampered, you are worthy of this, that, they will destroy your life. They will make you old. They will swallow your life. Anybody who makes you believe, makes you understand the ground reality, actually you are not doing anything. It is as simple as breathing and chatting, just walking around, as simple as, see, if you have a vacation, what all you will do, you are not doing anything more than that in any of your job, I am telling you. It is just your idea of today vacation, today office. Whether it's the Balasant having pus in his ears needs healing, or somebody came and stole something in some branches, or some devotee got into accident, he needs immediate healing, I need to attend. How I sit and go on micromanaging tirelessly, almost 800 to 1000 decisions I make a day without decision fatigue. Actually, 2 days before the Sadashivam started, I took the Sadashivam team all around the campus and I was telling them, hey, don't think you guys have done a big job. All of us put together, we made 2000 phone calls and 100 successful phone calls, that's all. Don't think about what you did based on the result. Think only based on what you did. If you think based on the result, you will fall into decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is one of the biggest suffering of the corporate mind. And I said, all of us put together made 2000 phone call and 100 successful phone call, that's all. The whole team collapsed, came down to planet Earth. I should say got grounded from the airy, fairy, Hari. Result is the sign of our completion, but based on result, you cannot assume what you have done. When it comes to what you have done, see, feeling about what you contributed should come only from what is the effort you put. See, what I am talking is talking from the context of becoming egoistic out of air, thin air. All right, this whole thing is done. What these guys have done? One phone call to this contractor, one phone call to the umbrella fellow, one phone call to the Dumbai fellow, one phone call to the volunteers team. They tied it over. Oh. Let us come down. So that is what exactly I feel about I just come and blush with the deities for a few minutes and go around, tease some of the brahmacharis and make fun of these balasans, and then come back and sit and just spend a little time asking some questions and answering some questions. Sometimes questioning your answers and sometimes answering your questions. Go back and rest back into Samadhi. That's all. You not building castles in the air about your contribution keeps you away from denial and keeps you grounded about life. The decision fatigue is all about entertaining denial. When you entertain denial, listen carefully. You need to justify you are doing too many big things. So you have to always weigh yourself based on the result, not based on what you contributed. This is one of the biggest corporate problem. And I tell you, decision fatigue damages your liver and intestine. If you remove decision fatigue from your life, you will grow younger. Decision fatigue starts as delusion, ends as disease. Decision fatigue starts as delusion, grows as disorder, ends as disease. I know many of you are not convinced that you have a decision fatigue. You all feel that really you are contributing something. Because it is such an important, how important I am for the society and for the people around me. That is one of the important food you eat. That is being now denied. Listen, you may now think how the length and this denial is connected. Whenever you decide, I will not put my energy on multiple things and I will put only in one, you will start seeing your efficiency to engage with life drastically comes down due to boredom attack. You always think, I will put all the 12 hours into the law and master, and you forget to understand there is something called boredom, which will be attacking you. You will be falling prey for it. You may have to face that in your course. You don't plan to handle, you don't have a right plan to handle the boredom. But you deny all the other entertaining aspects of your routine. When the boredom attacks, denial of leads to low efficiency, low engagement with life. When the engagement with life comes down, depth of the boredom increases. Depth of the boredom, denial, less engagement with life, decision fatigue is all one and the same. How many of you? Listen, decision fatigue steals your life from you. Decision fatigue directly tires your liver and intestine. Decision fatigue directly affects your very existence. The NRI Hindus, non-residential Indians, Hindus, listen. This is one of the important message I have for you. It has nothing to do with spirituality. You get heart diseases, heart problems, and die younger 600 times, not percentage. Listen, 600 times. Listen to me once more, not percentage. If you want, Google it. I again and again read that line. No, is it percentage or time or spelling mistake or error? So I landed upon one or two articles saying 600%. Then I went through again and again, larger number of articles and more authenticated papers published with the original names and the organization names which did research are talking 600 times. Even I could not understand. But I can give you the original reference. 600 times you are more prone to the heart problem, heart disease, death. Reason is, I tell you, decision fatigue. Only one reason, decision fatigue. If you are an NRI, 99% of you are in white collar job. Only the construction workers in Dubai and few working class in Malaysia and Singapore, like this exemption only does blue collar job. 99% of you are doing only white collar job. Then what is the need for you to die so early? One and only reason, decision fatigue. If I can make NRI community understand decision fatigue from the angle of physical, physiological, psychological, not even from the angle of spiritual, because still the NRIs have their own matrix. Till you get out of the matrix, I can't teach you spirituality. Even from the angle of physical, physiological, psychological, fatigue destroys your life. Understand? If I make this one truth to the whole NRI community. If I can reach this one truth to the NRI community, I feel I have done my responsibility. Because it is very unfortunate, the NRI community is not understanding or not yet discovered the solution. They have not understood the decision fatigue can be healed just in one sitting. It does not need to be part of your life. A simple understanding about integrity, grounding yourself based on integrity.
Yes. Very beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expanded on the topic of decision fatigue and how it's one of the problems which humanity is suffering the most from. As Swamiji himself has told, it is decision fatigue, not anything else, which is causing the NRI community to die at such a very early and young age. Despite not being physically or mentally or psychologically stretched to that extent, where most of them are working only white collar jobs, but still the death rate and the longevity of the NRI community is small because of this one thing, because of decision fatigue. Decision fatigue, as Swamiji had also shared, is one of the most difficult things for us to accept and come to terms with, that we all are suffering from decision fatigue. The need to satisfy our ego, the need to feel important, the need to feel that we are providing, we are contributing members of society, all builds up to us feeling that we did a lot when it was just a matter of few phone calls or just some paper moving job. And so for that reason, it is understanding, accepting that we have decision fatigue in our lives, that we are all suffering from this pattern, is the only way we can come out of it, and the only way we can actually become energetic, active, and contributing members of society. Swamiji beautifully gives an example. It is like a dog who runs around the whole day thinking he is doing something, he's trying to achieve something, but in reality, in actuality, he just moved from one place to the other. There's nothing which he actually accomplished in life. Our decision fatigue is the same thing. We are constantly running, thinking we are running and accomplishing something, but all we're just doing is going around in circles from one place to another, but not actually accomplishing and getting any work done. Only when we first accept that we are suffering with decision fatigue, only then we will be able to come out of the problem. Here with us, we have an internalization exercise to help us come out of the pattern of decision fatigue. The biggest problem is going to be inability to handle boredom. Human civilization will collapse due to boredom if we don't teach people to conquer time. It is time people learn the science of conquering time. See, something has to pull you towards the future. You can't always be pushed from the past. This is a beautiful understanding Swamiji gives. And if you see, we are actually already suffering from these problems today. With the exponential growth of social media, the advent of social media platforms like TikTok, where the attention span of a person, of an individual, is not more than 10 to 15 seconds, where the videos which you upload itself is limited to only 30 seconds. That is the maximum amount span a person is going to give you before they continue to scroll, before they continue to move on to something else. That age of boredom. where a continuous stream of information, of entertainment, of different types of entertainment can only satisfy you and keep you engaged and keep you in a solidified state. You start becoming restless, you start becoming bored. Maybe a small version of hypertension starts happening in you. This will only lead to further and further stress, further and further anxiety, and further hypertension in an individual. We are already entering into that era of boredom. And unless we understand these powerful cognitions about decision fatigue, about conquering time, we are always going to be suffering from boredom and we are always going to feel life is a pain, life is depressing. Unless we have the inspiration to move forward, to get pulled forward towards life, we're always going to be pushed from the past. The first step of the internalization exercise is to pen down everything from the past that pushes you forward. What makes you feel that life is dragging? What makes you feel that you are being pushed towards doing something rather than you running towards the goal you are trying to achieve? First, pen down all of these things in your life where you feel you are being pushed forward rather than being driven forward. Take a few minutes and sit and do the internalization exercise completely and sincerely. It will only help you to understand yourself more deeper and come to more deeper realizations and understandings about yourself. Swamiji beautifully says that we give time for everyone in the world other than ourselves. Very rarely we give time to ourselves to improve our own personal personality, our own being, and become a more complete person, a more intelligent and understanding and mature person. These 20 minutes of the process which we are doing every day as part of the introduction to the Bhava Samadhi Darshan is one of the only few moments in your life where you are sitting and you're working on yourself personally. You're working on your personal development. You're working for you to become a better person. So give yourself this opportunity, give yourself the space, this time to work on yourself, on your inner being, on the cognitions which you are fundamentally functioning upon. It is these things which will create a change in your life, which will exponentially change and manifest the reality which you want. So, whatever distractions, whatever things which may be distracting you or taking up your space and time and your attention span, keep them all aside for a couple of minutes and just be completely and sincerely focused in the internalization exercise. If for you your gadgets or devices are a little bit distracting for you, then keep them away as well for a couple of minutes and just pick up a simple pen and paper and pen down from the whatever you feel is pushing you from the past, whatever feels like a load or which has to be done because you have to do it. All these things which you feel that you are being forced to do, that you need to do it because it's supposed to be done and not because you want to be done. Pen down all these different things in your life which this is a guided meditation process, a guided exercise, and we'll be here with you every step of this process to help you overcome and come out of your decision fatigue patterns. So now please take a few minutes and sit and start penning down. Everywhere in your life you feel that things are happening out of routine, things are happening because it has to happen in a completely uninspired way, which needs to be done and which you feel is a load on your life. Don't allow yourself to get distracted by things which may be happening in your Varna space around. Allow yourself to be completely integrated, completely focused. Exercise. Coming out of the decision fatigue pattern, putting so much of energy personally in everything which you do. Not only will so much of energy come, you will really accomplish start accomplishing starts getting accomplished. The feeling that I'm doing so much of work, but still nothing is happening. The truth is that that much of work is actually not being even put in. But make yourself feel important to satisfy the ego of yourself that you are important and you are contributing. You are someone who society needs, who's valued by society. It is unfortunately and ironically the same ego which is preventing you from factually being a contributing member of society. So during this process and coming out of the decision fatigue pattern, as Swamiji shared earlier, is the only way you can actually really have the energy boost which you need in your life for you to manifest and make things happen the way you want it to happen. This is the ultimate of a personality development, personality change, which you can call, but ultimate life transformation cognition, which you can start carrying to manifest, make things happen in your life the way you want it to happen. Please sit sincerely and do the exercise. It doesn't need to be even a serious process, it just needs to be sincere. Sincerely go through, analyze your life, and identify all the places where you feel things which you are being forced to do in life, things which you have to do in life are happening because they are put a load on you, not because we're doing modification. Identify all these, and once this is done, we can move on to the next step. To take a few more minutes, sit and identify your past, everything from your past, which makes you feel that life is a drag. You are being dragged by life. now entering the next step of the process. Pen down everything that pulls you from the future. What makes you run with excitement? Previous were all the things which is pushing you towards the future, all the things which you despair in your life, which you don't want to face every day, but you're forced. Things which you have to do every day, but you don't want to. Those are the things identified in the previous exercise. In this exercise, let's identify everything which is pulling us towards the future. What makes us run with excitement? What makes us get up in the morning every day? What is that which excites us and forces us out of the bed, where we can just jump out of the bed with excitement? Write all the things which excite you in life, which makes you want to live for another day, which makes you want to enter into the next day. Pen down all those things now. All the things in your life which pulls you towards the future, which makes you more life positive, which makes you want to experience life more and more. Once you're done with the first exercise of analyzing and filling out all the things which is pushing you towards the future, now let us enter into finding out things which will pull you towards the future, which is the excitement, the drive, the intensity of it. Again, the complete intensity exercise. Allow yourself to be completely integrated and do this for yourself. Finally, at the end of the day, this exercise is only to fulfill you, to make you a completely transformed different being. Allow yourself, give that much of integrity, honesty to yourself. Be authentic to yourself, to your own personal transformation. Finishing up the first part of the process, that is fine. And you should do that. And once you're done, pen down all the things which excites you, which pulls you forward, drives you to become a better person, to make magnificent things happen around you. Exercise. Understand? Swamiji said again and again, something has to pull you towards the future. You can't always be pushed from the past. See, being pushed from the past is dragging your life. Something has to pull you from the future. Only then you will run with excitement. Please understand, being pushed by the past, being pulled by the future, there is two big difference. Pushed by the past, you will move in a slow way. But being pulled by the future, you will be flying, you will be dancing. So the science of conquering time needs to be taught to the world. It is only when you are pulled, when you're excited, enthusiastic, inspired by life, will you actually start living life? Will you actually start becoming younger? It is when we are being pushed by life, when we are suffering with decision fatigue, we become older and death starts approaching very quickly. It is only when we are moving towards life, when we are being pulled towards the future, we start becoming lighter, we start becoming younger, we start having more energy. This next step now is the science of conquering time. Discard boredom and be pulled into life by the excitement of the future. With this final cognition, with this understanding, the transformation in your life will start happening. When you understand that it is only through inspiration, it is only by being pulled towards the future, you will become younger, all your health problems will start disappearing, the decision fatigue will start leaving your cognition. You have conquered time. You have understood the secret and reality of manifesting youthfulness, manifesting energy, and becoming, going beyond the physical difficulties, the realities, and the sufferings of this plane. You start becoming divine. With this, the only other further step which needs to be is registering yourself for the Mahaparamashivam program. Right now, this powerful cognition which you are living with will be bolted in you with the superconscious oneness Advaitic experience the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will give you in the Mahaparamashivam process, during the Mahaparamashivam program. So with this, the Paramashivam link to register yourself for the Mahaparamashivam program and the website where you can learn more about the program are both linked below in the form of the QR code and in the screen. And so take this time now to cement this cognition in your being and register yourself for the Mahaparamashivam program to have the complete establishment of this experience in your cognition in your being. We'll be entering into a short break, after which we'll be working on causing your personal reality and manifesting your reality and manifesting the Mahaparamashivam program with you. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
A more intelligent to a brighter future.
Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivam. I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes. I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nithyanandam, I welcome all the participants and viewers all around the world for the most blissful and most divine Bhava Samadhi Darshan of the Nijavatara, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And today, Swamiji is going to manifest as the Somaskandhar Murthy. And I'm sure all the participants and viewers are having amazing time just receiving these blessings and darshans of Swamiji every single day, having these darshans, which is empowering and life transforming to one and all. And we have lots of positive feedback, positive news all around the world about Kailasa and the recognition that Kailasa is receiving from various countries and United Nations. And in today's segment, we are going to be looking into one of the most important contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is reviving the ancient kingdoms. Time and again, Avatar has descended in the planet Earth to revive the Sarvanya Pitas whenever there is a destruction in the Dharma, especially in any of the three pillars of Hinduism, whether it is in terms of language or in terms of the Hindu infrastructures or the Shastras. Whenever there is a decline, whenever there is adharma happening in any of these three pillars, Avatar descends to revive through the Sarvanya Pitas. Swamiji has descended to the planet Earth to revive the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which is undergoing 2000 plus years of persecution. And Swamiji is the emperor and Guru Mahasamidhanam of 21 ancient kingdoms. And one of the most important kingdom that Swamiji is reviving and bringing it back to life is Shamala Pita Sarvanya Pita, which is Madhurayadinam. And today's segment, we are going to see some of the most important contributions of Swamiji in reviving the Madhurayadinam, which is very, very dear to his heart, where Swamiji is also incarnation of Madurai Meenakshi herself. And just to share about Madhurayadinam, the Madurai Meenakshi temple, which is actually located in Tamil Nadu, India, it is one of the most popular and very important temples, I would say. It is the spiritual seat of Devi Meenakshi and Lord Somasundareshwara. And literally, the temple town of Madurai is extremely known for its divine leelas of Somasundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi, who lived there, ruled the entire kingdom, and shown the whole of the humanity of what it means to revive this Hindu ecosystem. So, if you think about the lineage of Madhurayadinam, it is about 5,000 years old. And in fact, what we have today in most of the Western civilizations, their own constitutions, their own the jurisprudence, everything is actually a replica of how the Madhurayadinam was functioning. There are enough records in Madhurayadinam which actually shows that the exact jurisprudence that Madhurayadinam had is what was followed in what is followed today in Vatican also. So, so the point that I'm trying to make is it is a very ancient, established, most advanced scientific enlightenment ecosystem, that actually flourished in all dimensions of life. So the ancient records clearly suggest that the glory of Madhurayadinam is such. Every single aspect of enlightenment ecosystem literally flourished under this, under the rule of Devi Meenakshi and Lord Somasundareshwara. And the Madhurayadinam is Hindu Adi-Shaivite monastery, and it is actually world's oldest surviving monastic order. It is the world's oldest surviving monastic order. It has this kind of legacy, and Swamiji is the current Guru Mahasanidhanam of this Madhurayadinam. And it is established by the incarnations, like I mentioned, Devi Meenakshi and Bhagavan Somasundareshwara. And literally, they came down and ruled the entire city of Madurai, and it was revived by Nithyananda Sambandar, and followed by him, several enlightened masters held the greatest seat of Madhurayadinam and shown the whole world the legacy, the spiritual legitimacy, economic legitimacy, and the religious legitimacy of Madhurayadinam to the whole world. And coming into that lineage is what we have Swamiji, who assumed the responsibility of being the Guru Mahasanidhanam of Madhurayadinam in 2012. So, throughout this session, I would like to hear from all the viewers and participants your feedback. What are your thoughts? Just seeing the rich tradition of Madhurayadinam being revived by Nijavatara Swamiji. Whatever you'd like to share with us, please feel free to share in the YouTube comments or Facebook comments, and also in the MPSN group. You can actually see a QR code that's being flashed on the screen. You can take a scan of it, and then you'll be directly led to the MPSN group, where you can start posting your comments, feedbacks throughout the session. And before we get into more details, also would like to share with all the viewers that the Pandyan kingdom, which is a Hindu empires, and it has the longest history of continuously ruling as an empire. The Guru Mahasanidhanam of Shamala Pita Sarvanya Pita Madhurayadinam was the spiritual head guru and also the political head of the state of this Pandya kingdom, which is a very important statement that I would like to share with all the viewers, that they also act as the political head and they are also the spiritual head of this kingdom. And even in contemporary colonial era, the Madhurayadinam has actually appointed the Guru Mahasanidhanam as the Pandya Niyamana Murai, Pandya's coronation procedure. This actually very clearly shows that the Guru Mahasanidhanam is the spiritual head and as well as the political head of the Madhurayadinam and the Madurai kingdom. Yes, and what you are seeing here today is the beautiful and most divine coronation of Swamiji as Madurai Guru Mahasanidhanam of Madhurayadinam. Literally, Devi Meenakshi appeared in the dream of the 292nd Guru Mahasanidhanam, saying that it is going to be Swamiji who will rule the Madurai kingdom, as the Guru Mahasannidhanam and the political head of Madurai city. Based on the guidance and directions given by Devi Meenakshi, the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam came and graced with this responsibility that Swamiji has taken up as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Adinam. You can see here the grand coronation celebrations happening in Bidadi, where Swamiji is assuming the responsibility as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Adinam. Yes, and as soon as Swamiji assumed the responsibility as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Adinam, Swamiji started reviving all the temples under the Madurai Adinam. There are several temples that actually come under the Madurai Adinam, which needed a lot of care in terms of infrastructure, in terms of traditions, in terms of puja, in terms of the enlightened ecosystem that the temple must hold. Everything Swamiji revived from the scratch. You can see here the Sachinanda temple in Tamil Nadu, which also belongs to the Madurai Adinam. Swamiji actually led a huge revival and restoration process in all the 4 temples that belongs to Madurai Adinam. You can see here literally Swamiji himself was cleaning the temple, and he inspired hundreds of peacemakers to join the restoration process. And so much of hard work, and literally he was inspiring each and every person out there to understand the legacy that the Madurai Adinam was holding.
பாடிடும் பிரார்த்தனையும் சோஸ்திரம் நித்யனவன் காலடியில் கொண்டு நம்ம சேர்த்திடும். பக்தியுடன் பாடிடும் பிரார்த்தனையும் சோத்திரம் நித்யனவன் காலடியில் கொண்டு நம்ம சேர்த்திடும். செய்யும் அந்த தியானம் அது சித்தம் தெளிவாக்கிடும். சித்தம் தெளிவாக அது தெய்வீகத்தை கூட்டிடும். செய்யும் அந்த தியானம் அது சித்தம் தெளிவாக்கிடும். சித்தம் தெளிவாக அது தெய்வீகத்தை கூட்டிடும். சக்தி எல்லாம் தேடி வரும் ஞானமும் தான் கூடிவிடும். சக்தி எல்லாம் தேடி வரும் ஞானமும் தான் கூடிவிடும். நித்யானந்தன் சொன்ன சூத்திரம் அது எல்லாமே எங்களுக்கு வேத சாஸ்திரம். நித்யானந்தன் சொன்ன சூத்திரம் அது எல்லாமே எங்களுக்கு வேத சாஸ்திரம். சிலிர்த்திடும் சொந்தமாக்க எண்ணி விட சேர்ந்திடாம ஓடிடும் தென்றலாக வீசிடும் தேகந்தான் சிலிர்த்திடும் சொந்தமாக்க எண்ணி விட சேர்த்திடாம ஓடிடும் கைகளும் துறக்க அது கனிவுடனே நிறைஞ்சிடும் இதயத்துக்குள்ள இனிதாக வரும் ஆனந்தம் கைகளும் துறக்க அது கனிவுடனே நிறைஞ்சிடும் இதயத்துக்குள்ள இனிதாக வரும் ஆனந்தம் சக்தியெல்லாம் தேடி வரும் ஞானமும் தான் கூடிவிடும் சக்தியெல்லாம் தேடி வரும் ஞானமும் தான் கூடிவிடும் நித்யானந்த சொன்ன சூத்திரம் அது எல்லாமே எங்களுக்கு வேத சாஸ்திரம் நித்யானந்த சொன்ன சூத்திரம் அது எல்லாமே எங்களுக்கு வேத சாஸ்திரம்
The Madurai Adinam holds the vast and rich heritage for more than 5,000 years of the heritage where the enlightenment ecosystem that was first originally formed by Devi Meenakshi and Somasundareshwara, and after which literally the ecosystem went through huge persecution by Muslims invaders and also British. And after post independence, the delegitimization started happening to this great ancient heritage. And then after which, when Swamiji assumed the responsibility as the Guru Mahasanidhanam of Madurai Adinam, literally every single aspect, every single wing of the ecosystem, Swamiji started reviving right from 2012. So what we are seeing here is the restoration and revival process where Swamiji himself personally involved in the entire cleaning process. And you can see here literally how Swamiji is inspiring all the peacekeepers of Kailasa to involve in this revival and restoration process. Yes. Yes. So, yes, you can see here in 2012, 22nd May, Swamiji is leading the entire restoration process in all the 4 temples of that belongs to Madurai Adinam. And today, if you see, without Swamiji taking over the restoration and revival of these temple infrastructures and also the traditions, literally the temples have become a common place as they do not have a single unified face as a leader. It is Swamiji who is the single unified leader of the entire Hinduism, who is reviving all the aspects of Hinduism, whether it is temple infrastructure or the traditions. In every level, Swamiji has revived the Hindu tradition. Yes, once again, you can see here how Swamiji is inspecting the entire restoration process and at the same time guiding all the peacekeepers. Yes, you can see here how the monks are cleaning the continued temple. And not only cleaning and restoring temples, Swamiji also revived the Annadan. And the tradition of Annadan that Swamiji started right from 2000 when the mission of Kailasa started. Swamiji revived the Annadan tradition in Madurai. And literally every single day, 2,000 people used to be fed. And the tradition is continuing even till today. Every single Brahmotsavam, every single Paurnami, every single Amavasya, today's Shamala Pita Sarangati temple, the Madurai Adinam that Swamiji has established, Annadan happens even till today. And along with Annadan, Swamiji also revived the Vaidhyalaya. Free medical camps was conducted in all the different places of Madurai Adinam. Free multi-speciality medical camps with free diagnosis and treatment was offered to all the people who belong to Madurai Kingdom. And even till today, Swamiji is reviving all the various aspects of Madurai Adinam. And we're going to share with all of you a small segment on how Swamiji is reviving this Shamala Pita Sarangi Pita even till today. Yes. And the current day, where Swamiji has established the Shamala Pita Sarvanga Pitam, right next to the temple, Madurai temple, Swamiji had revealed some of the historic revelations about the current Shamala Pita Sarvanga Pitam. So on 29th May 2019, historic breakthrough happened when the exact land where Devi Meenakshi emerged from the sacred ritual fire as a 3-year-old. From there, she started ruling the entire kingdom of Madurai from the Putrakamishti Yajna, literally from that exact place, the Madurai Adinam, the Shamala Pita Sarangi Pitam is established. The Devi Meenakshi, Parashakti, has blessed us by giving the exact land she used to sit on the original throne, Kailasonata Sham, in Madurai. So literally where our current Shamala Pita Sarangi Pitam is located, that is the exact place where Devi Meenakshi emerged from the Putrakamishti Yajna, and she graced us the whole universe with her divine blessings. And the revival of Kailasa, established by Paramashivam himself, the cosmic principles as per Sanatana Hindu Dharma, has started with Devi Meenakshi through a divine revelation to Swamiji, showing the exact land where she sat in her original throne, and she was ruling the entire Madurai. So that's the exact place where the Dharma Mandir of the current Shamala Pita Sarangi Pitam is there. Yes. So in his own words, Swamiji said that Devi Meenakshi has blessed us all by giving the exact land on which she used to sit on her original throne, ruling the entire kingdom of Madurai. And Swamiji revealed from Akashic readings that this was the very place where the sacred fire of Putrakameshti Homa was lit, and Meenakshi emerged out of this fire. And in Madurai Adinam, the part of Tirunayadal Puranam, compilation of all the divine plays of Paramashiva and Devi Parashakti, there is a vivid description of a place where Putrakameshti Homa happened. Lines like the Velvi, the Homa conducted by Kurvarar in the eastern side of the temple, where Lord Indra stays, confirms the location. Literally, the current Shyamala Sarvanya Pitam is exactly located in the same place where the Putrakameshti Yajna was conducted. The map below shows the clear marking. You can see here how it is literally eastern side of the temple. This particular place is located, and that's exactly the place that Devi Meenakshi revealed to Swamiji, and Swamiji brought this Shyamala Sarvanya Pitam to one and all, for all of us to protect and preserve this historic place. And on 6th of June 2019, Swamiji has revived the Shyamala Sarvanya Pitam, the world's oldest apex body of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and it is now being revived to become the world's largest apex body of Hinduism. Swamiji is reviving the world's largest Sanatana Hindu monastery, functioning as a powerful enlightenment ecosystem, enriching over 16,000 Kailayavasis around the world. And literally, that is the available historic records mention that over 16,000 disciples permanently lived in Tirunjana Sambandhar, the reviver, after which the Meenakshi's, after Meenakshi's rule, it is Tirunjana Sambandhar who revived the Madurai Adinam back. Now, what you're seeing here is the beautiful pictures of the current Shyamala Sarvanya Pitam, which is located inside the Madurai Devi temple. And every day, Nitya Puja of offerings happen to the deities of Meenakshi, Somasundareshwara, and Tirunjana Sambandhar, and Swamiji himself. Now, what you're seeing here is Kailasa. Kailasa is the ancient enlightened ecosystem established by Paramashiva thousands of years ago. And now Swamiji is reviving Kailasa to its original glory. And Madurai already had 3 power centers, which is political power center, spiritual power center, and linguistic power center. Swamiji is the current head of all the 3 power centers of Madurai Kingdom, and he is reviving all of these power centers to its original glory. Yes, this is a beautiful contribution of Swamiji, where you can literally see all the deities of Madurai Adinam. Swamiji personally micromanages the jewels, and each of these jewels are prepared and designed by Swamiji through Kailasa's Sacred Arts University. So what you are seeing here are such beautiful small and large size deities. When I say small, it starts 3 to 4 centimeters, such spread deities, to huge 11 feet deities. To all the deities of this range, Swamiji ensures that all these deities carry beautiful jewels, and these jewels are personally made in Kailasa Sacred Arts University. Yes, so the world's largest Sacred Arts University, the place where gods take birth, literally Archavataras, they are given birth in this university. And this will be the largest workshop of all of its kind, whether it is in terms of deities or their paraphernalia or the decorative items, every single thing Swamiji has acquired and made it in this Sacred Arts University, and the whole thing is shipped to various temples around the world. This art of making deities being practiced in such a huge scale will not just be enlightening the next generation, but it actually revives a lot more generations and a lot more youngsters to start following Hinduism. Yes, you can see more beautiful deities of Shamalapita Samanyapitam, where literally all these deities are personally designed with these jewels and decorations by Swamiji. And all the Brahmotsavams that are being conducted in Shamalapita Samanyapitam, from the Madhurayadinam, Swamiji personally enriched all of us with the right context and right understanding that it is really Devi Meenakshi and Lord Somasundareshwara is gracing the town of Madurai. Whenever this Mandagapadi happens, whenever the Brahmotsavams are celebrated, when the Archavatara graces from the temple, it is literally Devi Meenakshi and Lord Somasundareshwara is gracing the entire Madurai kingdom. So till today, Swamiji offers his respects to Devi Meenakshi and Bhagavan Somasundareshwara. He personally graces into a video conferencing to the whole world as a representation of Devi Meenakshi herself and Paramashiva himself. Swamiji literally as Nijavatara, he graces the whole world whenever the deity steps out of the temple. So even till today, all the Brahmotsavams, all the moments when the deity graces the entire Madurai temple for Mandagapadi, Swamiji graces the Madurai temple, and he offers the respects to the Archavataras, and at the same time as Nijavatara, he graces the whole world with his presence. And what you're seeing here is one other contribution where the science of yoga that's being revived in the Shamalapita Samanyapitam. And you also saw the temple tower is being always projected. The Indra Vimana is always projected in Kailasa's digital platforms in such a way that people around the world, all the Hindus around the world, can take the darshan of Indra Vimana of Madhurayadinam. And Swamiji is reviving the Rajavidya Gurukul through Madhurayadinam. Literally world's largest Rajavidya Gurukul Swamiji wants to establish in Madhurayadinam. And literally like how it used to be when Meenakshi used to rule the Madhurayadinam, Swamiji wants to revive all its aspects, whether it is temple, whether it is Gurukul, whether it is Goshala, every single aspect and pillars of Hinduism, Swamiji wants to revive. Yes, you can see here how the Gurukul kids are all doing the Akashik reading. And agriculture, even the temples around, places around the Shamalapita Samanyapitam, Kailasa has got the agricultural land where Swamiji is reviving the sustainable agriculture for this Madhurayadinam. And Annadan, like I mentioned, Annadan is continuously happening every single Brahmotsavam, every single Mandagapadi days, Paurnami and Amavasya. The Shamalapita Samanyapitam is literally offering the Satvik Annadan to the entire kingdom of Madurai. Almost 5,000 people come and take the prasada from Shamalapita Samanyapitam every day whenever there is an Annadan. And even during the COVID-19, when the whole world closed their doors, Swamiji opened his spiritual embassies to one and all. What you're seeing here is the Annadan that used to happen during the COVID-19 period. Yes, you can see here, Clearly, during COVID-19, the peacekeepers are wearing the mask and ensuring that people, whoever visited or whoever is walks down the street to Madurai temple, always receive food. And Swamiji also takes care of the Goshala, cow shelters in Valdayadina. Yes, you can see here the Chitra Brahmotsavam celebrations where literally every day 5,000 people were served from Kailasa's Shamla Pita Sarvanga. And like this, many more humanitarian services are continuing even till today for the revival of Madurai. And it is such a beautiful purpose just to recollect the amount of hard work that Swamiji has done to revive this ancient enlightenment ecosystem. Literally 5,000 years of history and heritage that the Madurai holds even till today. The constitution of Madurai is what is being adopted by Vatican today. So the rich tradition and the rich benefits that these ecosystems give us to the world is something phenomenal, and it is a timeless treasure, which is what Swamiji is reviving in all its glory. And so, if you feel many such ancient enlightenment ecosystems, Swamiji wants to revive, and that is what he wants to do through the Savanyapita. This is the most important contribution of Swamiji, where ancient enlightenment ecosystems are revived, and it has all become part of this great happening where Swamiji is reviving all these ancient enlightenment ecosystems. So, being a Sarvanyapita Yajaman is one of the most important, most blessed happening in our lives, where literally we become extensions of Swamiji. So, don't miss this opportunity. I request everybody to be part of this grand phenomena. And you can sign up your intention to be part of Sarvanyapita by signing up in skSJP.org/contribute. So I request all the viewers out there to take 2 minutes to sign up your intention, sign up your decision to be part of Shamla Pika Sarvanyapita and revival of many such kingdoms. Your support to Sarvanyapita project actually shows your decision to become extension of Swamiji. So all you need to do is just take a few minutes to file your intention skSJP.org/contribute, and your decision to file the intention will literally help you to manifest the space and state of a Sarvanyapita Yajaman. And yes, and Swamiji has always told all of us that all we need to do is set the intention and work for it. When we take that first step, Swamiji is going to move million planets for us. All it requires is our intention to start our journey. So I request everybody out there to take this opportunity, take this moment to start your journey towards Sarvanyapita. With Swamiji's grace and blessings, simply you will be able to manifest it even actually before the Shivaratri itself. And today, joining with me is Indra Vishwanath, Asha Vishwanath from California. She is here with all of us to share her journey with Swamiji and how Swamiji literally transformed her life and has given so many beautiful breakthroughs in her lives. And what is really inspiring her to manifest Sarvanyapita? She's here to join us. She's joining with us today to share her journey and how she wanted to manifest the Sarvanyapita.
Many people asked me, Swamiji, why did you leave such a huge empire you built in India and sitting somewhere in one car for so many years? Be clear. It's already 3 years. I left India. More than 3 years. This 3 years is worth because I have done the foundation, legal, protected, internationally protected place first. Not only I have the immunity of non-prosecutable and immunity and protection as the head of the state, sovereign land, which can't be violated, and the embassy status in multiple places, even sovereign land in more than one places. This 3 years is worth because the first things are done first, right things are done first. We have a great future. We don't have to worry. Will there be any end like what happened, what has been done to Asaram Babu's organization? What has been done to Sant Rampal's ecosystem? What has been done to Ram Rahim's ecosystem? What has been done to Palgar Sadhus and what has been done to Kanchimat? You don't need to worry because I have done the right things first. That's a spend little time, study how each Hindu ecosystem is persecuted in last 100 years. Listen, whether Kanchimat or Asaram Babu or Ram Rahim or Sant Rampal or Shivashankar Baba, all of them, all their organizations, with so much of hard work, they build the Hindu ecosystem like a beautiful honeycomb. But just some thief comes and robs the whole thing and takes it away. But again, you guys Hindus will work hard and build it like a honeycomb. Again, somebody else will come and steal. Be very clear. I am not interested in this game. That is why I decided very clearly, I will build the fort first. Proper stone fort. And build a honeycomb so it will stay forever and work forever. Support the Hindus forever. Keep the Hindu ecosystem forever alive. Be very clear. I understood this secret. I started my public life at the age of 16. With 25, I understood. Without making a proper protection system,